EngineBEERing with Timothy Freeburn. Yeah, that's probably good enough, isn't it?
Everyone, welcome to EngineBEERing. If you watch this live, this is actually a retake. I've already poured my beer, which was Broadside by Adnams. And why we've done a retake is I've accidentally left a YouTube player open, and then we've got this sort of, it repeats, the sound comes back and then on a delay, and it keeps repeating over and over and over again, and it sounds terrible. So I've decided to retake it, and hopefully I'll say the same sorts of things, but anyway. I doubt if you watched it live, you'll watch it again. Well, maybe you will. But anyway, so I'm drinking this beer. And Adnams Broadside is a really nice beer. I really like it. What it's got is it's quite a strong beer, so you really feel it on your tongue. But there's a lot of caramel in it as well. It's quite nice caramel though. I really like it. It's worth a try. Not everyone's cup of tea, but well, cup of beer. Let's have a go. Right. So what I wanted to do was talk to you about cleaning my cleaning regime when it comes to brewing. Because a lot of brewing is really about cleaning. You don't want to go and make a 20 or 40 litre batch of beer and then it's all infected and you have to tip it down the sink. That would be terrible. So what you need to do is make sure that everything's very clean, and if you're a brewer you probably know that. But everyone seems to have a slightly different setup for how they clean. So what I normally do is to get rid of, well, at the end of a brew day, I wash everything out with a soft sponge, and you don't want to scratch the sides of your vessels and things. But what you end up with is a lot of wort that is, especially in your copper or your boiler, you get a lot of sort of wort stuck to the edges of it, and it just sort of goes this tanny colour, which is not very nice. So to get rid of those really tough stains, we have sodium bicarbonate, or OxyClean as it's commercially known. It's very, very similar stuff. I think OxyClean might have some perfume in it, but so it's probably not ideal to use, but anyway. That is a good first step. The second step is to use something like VWP, which is a bleach. And that just kills off any bacteria. The third step is to neutralize the bleach, and that is with sodium metabisulfite. That really does a great job at neutralizing the bleach. So yeah, the final step, if you need it, depending on say, for example, in your copper, in your boiler, you get sort of this same sort of thing you get in the bottom of your kettle, the lime scale. That lime scale you want to remove. Citric acid is a really good thing for doing that. I would say that for most of these things, about 80 degrees Celsius is a good temperature. You certainly don't need to with the sodium metabisulfite. That just cold water, a little bit of cold water is great, and it gets rid of all the bleach. But if you have a stainless steel boiler, stainless steel equipment, I have plastic and polycarbonate up until just recently. With the stainless, supposedly you're better off using PBW. So that's something I'm experimenting with and learning a bit about. I'll be cleaning with that, and I'll tell you how it goes. To be fair, I do clean my Cornelius kegs with that at the minute. So yeah, anyway. The last step is once you've cleaned them, want to keep them clean right up until the point that you've actually brewed or put your brew in it. To do that, put in some star sand, which is a very weak acid. The thing about that is you can actually drink that. You can get it in your beer. It doesn't produce all sorts of off flavors and etc. You want to reduce the amount that you can get by tipping it all out, but a little bit in it certainly doesn't hurt, and it just keeps it from growing anything and makes it very, very unlikely that you'll get a bad beer. So anyway, that's my cleaning regime. Let's now go and talk about some engineering. And so what I've done this week with the ray gun is I went to Tesco's and I bought a electric pump, a pump for a air mattress. And this is quite a noisy thing, and it puts out a very large volume of air. I didn't really need that, but it normally runs off 12 volt. So I was wondering how low I could get that voltage down before the pump actually stopped working. It turns out even at 1.2 volts, the pump is still turning over and actually moving a little bit of air. So what I've actually done this week is to mount it, remove all the housing and mount it on top of my e-cigarette. And what I'll do is give you a little demonstration of just how effective it is. See, it's fairly quiet, so if it was on a film set or something like that, you probably will pick this up, but it's probably not too bad. I think I can potentially go down a little bit in voltage again, but just to give you a demonstration of what it looks like. That's quite an effective smoke machine, isn't it? So I'll disconnect that. There we go. So that I'm going to mount somewhere on the gun, probably underneath. And the head that I was supposed to be working on this weekend, or this week, sorry, that I actually couldn't because I don't have a rotary indexer. I've ordered one, hopefully it will be here soon and I can actually start working on it. That will go on the front, and I will use this small PVC tube to actually go between the pump into very small nipples on the sides of the nozzle, and that's where the LEDs and that's where the smoke will actually come into the end of the gun. And as the piston plunges out, it'll force out that little bit of smoke, and what we'll get is that flash sort of in front of the gun, which hopefully should look like it's been fired. So anyway, that's the retake. Hopefully that was entertaining. If you'd like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that sort of thing, that would be wonderful. Down there, put some comments and tell me what your cleaning regime is. And yeah, that's about it. Hopefully I'll see you again next week. Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.